to Consulate between these two teams. We'll start off with the operator bans.
And that's going to be Cloud9, since they are playing on defense, banning first. And they'll get rid of Lion. Obey on the next attacker ban. We'll see who they choose to take care of, and it's going to be Blackbeard. Interesting. So that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole bunch of sense on a map like Consulate, and with Laxing in play, not wanting that to even be a factor. Yeah.
Retro as well.
Yeah, Retro
has been playing Blackbeard quite a bit on Consulate. They used to have Laxing to flex onto that, but I mean, that means that Laxing's Glaz will also remain unbanned too.
Yeah, good point. Echo being banned out as the first defender. And as an operator, definitely very powerful, especially on that basement site. You deny the plant in front of White Van. Valkyrie also being taken care of, so lots of information clamped down here for the defense, as you can see. Valkyrie, of course, with some cameras outside, can aid the defense quite a lot, but it's not going to happen here in this match. All right, so it's going to be a top floor hold to start things off from Cloud9. The lineup, as you can see from Obey, is just, you know, tools for any job, no matter what it would be. You got to bring that Thermite just in case it is a basement hold first time around. Need the versatility of the Hard Destructor. Thatcher as well, but it looks like it's going to be possibly 6 picked under the Thatcher, considering the last minute change there, or a pick at the Jackal. I guess it's going to depend on what Obey think their opponents are going to, and yeah, actually, here we go. So transitions. The Valkyrie being banned, you don't necessarily need an IQ, and bringing the Buck is going to aid you no matter where you're attacking on this map. And meanwhile, yeah, I think this is a really good change from Obey.
Yeah, overall, a smart pick. I'm quite happy with this. C9, couple things to focus on here. A lot of times their roam is going to focus on Laxing and Mark's play together. The counterplay that they can end up having to deal with, and then the way that their opponents can crack that. Now, Obey happens to have some pretty sufficient entry fraggers on their team. How are they going to be able to deal with the clash? That is something that I'm going to keep an eye upon, and I'm sure most people will as well, because the versatility of Clash as an operator and her strengths in a lot of different ways make her quite a pest to have to deal with. You know, if you can bleed the attacker's utility dry and make it so that they don't really have much gadgetry to deal with you after, you know, an entire push happens, then you're in pretty good position with Clash. At that point, you usually need to engage her one-on-one.
You can see Obey wary of potential open angles. Consulate being a very heavy outside peeking type of map. Not necessarily spawn peeking really, but just, you know, peeking outside as a defender. This is a powerful tool on this map, and it is something that you need to consider. That Valkyrie ban is going to be a hindrance to that whole, you know, mindset, but it's still something that can be used. Bosco, aware of Foxay, who was roaming downstairs, likely to a drone. And you can see that he's holding the angle, waiting for the push to Zulu, but it's not going to happen. The Jackal track is going to force the Pulse to fall back upstairs. Definitely the right call for Foxay to retreat. And good job to the Jackal forcing him to do so.
For those that are curious, Zulu is the spot downstairs, just outside of Yellow Stairs, where Bosco is playing right now. It looks like a Z or a Z, depending on where you are. I guess for the US Nationals, it's a Z. For some people, it's Z. But anyway, they call it Zulu just because it looks like a Z shape upside down.
I was born Z, but I say Z.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
That's a very, very fair point. First kill, my man. Gone from action, Capitao, and that is one of the direct counters to Clash as well. So Laxing, who very conveniently managed to get that kill in a bit of a cruel irony here onto my man. That's going to be not just the asphyxiating bolts and smoke down, it's going to be the second set of smokes because you still have a Jackal available for Obey.
Yeah.
Laxing doing a great job at drawing the fire on Yellow Stairs, then Mark will come in to capitalize off a distracted Benji, and now with Laxing retreating into the bathroom, you've got Goddess playing in there too on the Maestro, the LMG. But Laxing just looking the wrong way. I don't think he anticipates Bosco being up there, and that's a very easy kill for Bosco to be able to get. A rare misplay from Laxing, and Bosco playing that one perfectly. through the desk. Bosco tries to outduel Mark and will manage to get the kill. A very impressive flick as Adam just repels right into console office. But with Bosco down, it means that Adam is going to be in a 1v2 clutch or kick scenario. Still got the evil eyes up, and they'll track him through connector. That information being given out to Foxaze. Goddess is just going to work her gadgets.
Adam not checking the bathroom. This is very dangerous for him right now. He does not seem aware of the Maestro's position, and ultimately that will be his demise. Goddess, the last kill. Cloud9 take round number 1, defending the top floor.
That round goes totally different if Laxing doesn't just happen to meander into the yellow stairs, sideways exposing himself to Bosco, and then end up getting meleeed. I mean, I think Laxing was just trying to watch and see if somebody on Skylight was up there watching on yellow stairs. I don't think he expected Bosco to be up that close, but you basically gave your life away, and then immediately after that, Bosco was able to just transfer right onto the Jaeger of Mark and basically picked up a double kill there, all because of the misplay of the Clash.
Yeah, of course, if you're unfamiliar, the counter to Clash is just getting within arm's reach of her and, well, meleeing the shield. If you can get it hit, then it will be tossed aside, and it's a really easy kill at that point. So definitely a mistake for Laxing, but ultimately Cloud9 still being able to win the round despite that. Now, it's going to be a middle floor hold instead of the basement. Interesting that they're doing this. It makes sense. I guess the thought process is they're going to be bringing Thermite for every single round until they know that we're not defending basement, because you kind of have to. If you want to have a good chance of successfully attacking the basement, you need to have a hard destructor, ideally a Thermite, and that's sensible for Cloud9 trying to draw this out as long as possible. If they can also get a win here, maybe go to the new site. I don't know, do something crazy, and then hey, your Thermite will be never useful. Although, I guess attacking the new site, if you're going to come from the basement, you are probably going to clear from garage. We have seen that happen quite a lot, so we'll see. We'll see. But for now, at least the Thermite will be kind of redundant in terms of utility.
Yeah, like you said, though, Thermite's a pretty good pick. But, I mean, we've also seen teams run Hibana here repeatedly.
Yeah.
Evil Geniuses, when they played this map just a couple weeks ago, they didn't even run a hard breacher half the time. They ran a Hibana once, and that was it. And they made it work without running a hard breacher when they were attacking basement, because they just kept going through server.
Rogue versus Hyper earlier in the USN. It was pretty much the same deal. No Thermite really being brought on the basement. I mean, it was heavy reliance on the Hibana, and it's made it work.
Super, who is paid more than any human on Earth to do nothing other than drone for 2 minutes, open a wall, and then plant the diffuser, and possibly die while showing off incredible athleticism.
Yeah.
He doesn't usually play a Thermite, so I mean, especially here we saw him playing the Hibana, as you noted, against Hyper.
So, top floor clear here for Obey, and they're going to start trying to take out any of these roamers who are up in the CEO/bathroom. It's a double ACOG setup, a crossfire for Cloud9, and they're just doing their best to try and slow down this push as much as possible. They've got great angles to do it with, and the right operators to pull it off. And that's going to slow up the Obey push quite a bit. Adam has been downed over in Visa, though it does not seem that Cloud9 is aware of it, so he might be salvaged. No, it's being called out. Laxing trying to secure the kill. Mark will eventually do just that using that SMG, the 2 burst, working out great for Mark. And Obey now find themselves at a man disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, Mark now moving on. Once again, Laxing and Mark just working together in tandem has been such a big contributor to Cloud9's success. And when they typically go quiet, that's when the rest of the team tends to fall apart, because the anchor play is really not always the star of the show for Cloud9. Stun grenades get tossed in by Maman as their focus shifts from trying to clear out roamers to now trying to take control of the site and the areas around it. Mark, that clash, is going to be punished from Skies, and Obey will find their very first kill, but they've only got 30 seconds left, so not an abundance of time at their disposal. Skies just will drone out the Rook playing upstairs of Retro, and then just absolutely take him down. Pull out that SMG-11, and even at close range, able to get the kill. Great capitalization here from Laxing as he'll team up with Goddess in order to get the information required. That's also Diffuser down. Bosco will drop that Diffuser. Laxing looking up on Spiral Stairs allows Benji to walk in relatively unabated, worrying that he will lose all of his HP. My man is just a couple clicks away, but no, the Evil Eye goes down at the last second. Goddess will have to do the work herself. She sees a dead body, looks for coverage, cannot manage to get Benji. Skies will take out Foxay, and as Goddess, last one up, realizing that Obey has the coverage that is needed to prevent Goddess from getting my man. Really good opportunity to completely box her out of the site, and that's Obey equalizing.
So, Obey didn't clear out the top floor, but they managed to isolate those roamers and then simply collapse on the site. Once they knew they had control of the parts of the top floor that they needed in order to allow for a main lobby plant, they just made it happen. So props to Obey for great tactical mind in that round. Cloud9, on the other hand, they were playing an interesting strategy on the top floor whereby they're trying to delay with the two ACOGs and keep that crossfire going in order to get potential free kills. But if Obey doesn't engage it, then it's kind of useless. And that's exactly what Obey did. They just didn't clear the whole top floor, and they chose to attack the site instead, thus forcing those two roamers to retreat down to the site before being useful. And on a retake, they're not very useful. So it can be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that push also came down to just a good amount of calls that were coming out from Cloud9, and you could tell, and then wrong calls coming out. Mark, or Laxing, lying prone inside of lobby, looking towards the top of Spiral Stairs. That was an old call that obviously was incorrect, as Benji just crouch walked his way in right to circle desk, you know, from the bottom of Spiral Stairs, able to take out the Evil Eye as well, and those are contributions right there, with Benji also throwing the smokes to try and get some obscured sight onto the plant, as my man is in the corner by the main door getting the plant down. Overall, that was both Skies and Benji doing a lot of work and some heavy lifting. Skies with 2 kills on that round in particular, and then going off and solo roaming, or solo entering rather, above. We'll see if Cloud9 can tighten it up, because their offsite play wasn't terrible, but losing the clash, I think, with that much time that was still left, was a big hindrance for them.
Their offsite play wasn't terrible, but ultimately it didn't accomplish anything, and that was the problem for Cloud9. You can see they're trying to use something similar yet again. 2 roamers at the top floor, focusing on a crossfire between Connector and the bathroom. Last time it was CEO in the bathroom. And again, this did not work out for them very well in the previous attempt. However, this time it's the basement that's being defended, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. Nope, still the middle floor. So we'll see if it's going to change anything, or if this is just going to play out the same way it did last time.
You can hear some shots from Mark playing on the Clash this time around. They're going to run with basically the same thing they did last time, except Foxay will go with the Pulse instead of the Doc, so that ACOG really wasn't as effective, I think, as they wanted. And you bring a Doc, his stim pistol is really good if you're going to play clustered together, but with how spread out that team was, you're basically just bringing him for the MP5 at that point. If Echo wasn't banned, then you could possibly run him in Doc's place. But the Pulse is a pretty comfortable role to find for Foxay on Cloud9.
Again, Cloud9 clearing out in the admin office, and they're going to start their push, but they're not choosing to clear out the entire top floor. They're just forcing the defenders out of Projector, allowing for a plant in the main lobby. Definitely worked out for them great last time, but this time it looks like there might be some more utility in place to deny the plant. You can see Pulse on the Foxay on the Pulse, pardon me, the C4 downstairs, and he's going to be the one who is put in a position to deny this plant, but he's being shot at from server, or likely actually even above, all the way up top, or from the Visa stairs. Either way, the push is coming into the main lobby, and it's going to be on Goddess to deny this diffuse plant. As she rushes out into the main lobby, she is going to get my man one of the flank holds. Meanwhile, Adam trying to get a crossfire will be downed in the back hall by Laxing. Mark whips out the SMG, no shield needed, and will take down Benji. So Obey falling apart here as they attempt to push the main lobby. Bosco does get a refrag. It's not all over, but they are going to have to deal with a shield. That's the Clash, and Skies has a great position to deal with that shield using the grenade, but will miss ultimately on the drop. And Mark gets the final kill onto Bosco. Great job to Cloud9 holding that out, and a big part of that was the fact that Clash was able to stay alive throughout the whole round.
Being the focal point there was huge for Mark in particular, and you could see that he almost single-handedly saved Foxay when he got shot out from the hatch that was overlooking server. So this just goes to show you why a lot of these teams are banning out Clash, because if you can keep her alive until the final minute, 30 seconds, etc., of a round, she's just so important and so difficult to deal with. And unless you have a decent numbers advantage, or you can trap her and pin her down with an asphyxiating bolt, you don't have a ton of counterplay with her.
Yeah, I would describe Clash as a sweet spot operator, where in order to play her properly, what you need to do is you need to find yourself in the sweet spot, which is not close enough for the attackers to melee you, but also close enough where you can zap them and influence their push and get their attention focused on you. And Mark did it very well in that last round, so props to him for that. Now it's going to be a top 4 defense once more for Cloud9. They're opting to stay away from the basement. They were successful here on their last attempt, which forced them to go to the middle floor. And see if they can keep that going.
So just opting for the 2 sites over and over again. This looked pretty decently convincing for Cloud9 on this site. The only real scary point for them that Obey was able to take and continue to kind of almost steamroll over C9 was when the Clash of Laxing just played it incorrectly on the stairs and looked the wrong way, and Bosco picked up the double. I mean, if you notice, absent from Cloud9's lineup is a Clash. So this is going to be the first round that they don't run a shield on. And I know that people might wonder why we spend so much time talking about her, but she really is an extremely pivotal operator when it comes down to it on defense. Probably the most pivotal right now outside of maybe a Mira, an Echo, or a Maestro. And even then, I think you make a pretty good argument that she outclasses a couple of those.
So, very light presence on the actual bomb site. Heavy roamers downstairs for Cloud9 right now. Let's see Laxing trying to come up from the Visa stairs. He might actually find a gap here. Foxy's still using his pulse sensor all the way down in the basement. Just looking for some information. Now, the light site presence is going to allow for Obey to take control of A with relative ease. They do have the utility to isolate it using those smokes and firebolts. The problem is that there's still C4 from below, and there's Evil Eyes in the site itself. So the denial is still in hand for Cloud9, which is going to make this push for Obey that much more complicated. We do have good ways to stop it from being useful, though. Of course, the Zofia and the Sledge can take care of that Evil Eye once push comes to shove.
And then you have Goddess holding a tight angle here inside a bathroom, a nice long angle. This is one thing that a lot of teams will do upstairs. Cloud9 is by no means any different. Foxay could possibly go for a kill here, and oh no, he ends up hitting the beam. He doesn't get anything that he needs from it. I don't even know if he's aware that he can get a kill through that floor. I don't think that part of the floor is actually penetrable.
I don't think it is either. Nice shot from Laxing, given too many opportunities to get a kill onto my man, but look at that, the diffuser's been planted. Skies will get Mark as he attempts to retake upstairs, and A-side control is still well in hand for the attackers. Adam gets Foxay, but Goddess able to peek from long desk and get a kill of her own, and somehow comes away from that engagement unscathed. Retro will die on the entry. Great angle there from Skies, but Goddess still in play. In fact, the last defender in play, trying to get the angles, but cannot find them in time, and Obey will take the round.
Well, that is disorienting. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, he's been disorienting to spectate for this match so far.
Obviously very pumped. Obey looking to head to what would be their third LAN if they do end up winning this matchup between the teams. Cloud9 has already got quite a number under their belt. But, man, I mean, that was Cloud9 playing very, very loose and just Obey capitalizing. Every time they found somebody, they seemed to be winning. The great run out from Laxing, by the way, onto that balcony in order to catch my man who was playing up, trying to watch into the site and projector. But, I mean, at that point, that's really all you got going. You know, they were able to pick up one more kill afterwards, and then it ended. And it was a complete lockout from Obey. Goddess I mean, you can clutch absolutely with that Alda, but you had two operators lined up on one side, another operating on the other. You're probably not going to be able to walk away with that with your life intact.
It's an excellent gun, but it's definitely not enough to find yourself out of that precarious situation.
So, going downstairs to garage here, immediate thoughts on this lineup that's being brought out, given that Mira remained unbanned and we'll finally see her.
Yeah. It's cool to see her in play, and she will be used for a roam inside of the bathroom. Definitely a good position to use this operator.
10 seconds to go.
Not many other good places for the Black Mirror. You know, the one inside of garage is
5 seconds remaining.
not great, and we don't often see it be useful. It will also be brought, though, because why not?
Defuse the bomb.
The setup from the rest of Cloud9 is pretty standard.
All right, we'll get underway with round number 5 here. Pretty standard, as you say. Still singular hard breacher. Adam has been put on the hard breach role now. As I'd said before, when we watched them play on Oregon for quite a while, Adam was tasked with doing the Thatcher role, but that's not obviously here. He's going to be doing the hard breach duty. Obey not being the most flexible team in their roles overall. You typically tend to see, you know, Skies and Bosco, maybe Skies and Maman being the entry fraggers. Sometimes you might see Skies do some entry clear with some droning to try and help maybe Maman, and then have Benji on the ultimate support role with Adam picking up the pieces. But, I mean, outside of that, they don't really need a lot of versatility. As I say that, Benji, who was the second pair of smokes, still have the Capital available, will meet his fate at the hands of a C4 being tossed out by Laxing. So, a good kill from that Bandit C4.
Very important kill as well. The roamers are all cleared at this point, forced down to the site, but at the same time, even site presence from Jackal is pretty important. I say it, roamers are all cleared, but we do technically still have one inside of the bathroom, and that's on the middle floor, trying to hold out as long as he possibly can using that mirror window. Obey have spent a lot of time taking the top floor. The fact that they still have the last hurdle to get to before they can clear the site is not fantastic. Now, they've opened up the garage, or so it sounds, which is exactly what they need to start a site push. That last roamer inside the bathroom is still holding on. That's Mark doing his best to delay this. And he has been spotted out in this corner. The lifeline will give probably a very easy kill to Bosco. And yeah, there it is. Mark takes out Skies, though, before Bosco was able to eliminate him. So not a wasted roam, and lots of time wasted as well. Bosco gets another, though, as he peeks down onto Foxe, who was using a pre-opened hole, I believe, that the defenders made.
I'm amazed that Foxe was not able to land the shots that he needed there onto that kill. That should have been one that he walked away from, but he missed the first couple blasts through that opening, as you mentioned. So 3v3 with 30 seconds to go, in the thick of it, as tons of opportunity for Obey to be able to cleave off parts of this site. And there you go. Smokes from Capital. Adam is going to go in default plant on the front of White Van, and asphyxiating bolts will follow just to try to make sure that C9 cannot come back in for the retake. Goddess gets the mark for the Capital, shreds him at close range with that Vector. Bosco gets one, and Goddess will get the down on the Adam, followed up with the Evil Eye from Retro, claiming the kill. It's going to be all left to Bosco, as Retro with that AD, with the ACOG, is going to possibly go hunting. He's going to look towards the side of White, but this is a very, White Van, but this is very winnable for Bosco. If Bosco can land his shots, he can turn around and get this, but a miraculous effort from Goddess to control that Vector at long range amidst those marble pillars outside. Huge for Cloud9, and they will walk away from the first half with the 3-2 scoreline. Overall, that buys the Hibana, and then I'm going to probably suspect that you might see Laxing pull out the Glaz at some point. It won't happen on the first round, though. Retro will run a Dokkaebi instead, as one of his primary operators in Blackbeard has been banned, and Laxing will go on Capital. And Capital sees quite a bit more play than he has over the last couple seasons, but especially on Consulate, he seems to be a stable pick as of late.
I mean, he's useful pretty much everywhere that you need smokes. You can add on to that the asphyxiating bolts, and it becomes an even more powerful pick. So I think he's been falling into the meta recently, and In the same way that we've seen now Coastline being a bit of a trended map. You know, these things do happen. Obviously, they'll change over time. Mirror window in the middle of the garage, just trying to give information to a potential C4, I'm guessing. There is no bandit, so no bandit tricking at play. Mute jammer is going to slow things down a little bit, but not really a... Mute tricking isn't really a thing. So, a non-starter on the garage, but still information being the focus here for Obey's defense. Because you don't have that Valkyrie, you need to gather it somehow. Still do think Valkyrie ban was excellent from Cloud9 on a map like Consulate. Top floor here, you can see that Cloud9's just trying to put on some pressure and clear out these roamers one at a time. But unlike Obey, their drone on the top floor, their droning on the top floor has not been excellent. Oh, I say that, an excellent mark from Goddess onto Map1 is going to force him to maneuver. The follow-up just isn't there.
I mean, he'll make it alive into yellow stairs, but he's going to get pinned down. If there's somebody watching Skylight, which we know there isn't, it's going to be a very short life expectancy here for the Legion. Still in a very precarious position. You saw that Laxing pulled off of Garage to just try and hold the angle onto yellow. So with Map1 now having to silence his phone, it could only be a matter of time.
Yeah, this has been a very slow clear for Cloud9. This is a stark contrast to what we were seeing from Obey. And Retro is going to win the fight against Legion of Map1, but at what cost, really? 2 whole minutes. He also gets the camera control, though, playing on Dokabi, which is going to aid the attack quite a bit, considering how useful some of these default cams can be, actually. In the main garage, Obey's going to need to shoot those at some point.
Easy for Cloud9 to be able to open up that garage, but one smoke dart will be used from the Capital of Laxing. It'll be met with that yellow mist that gets thrown out from the toxic canisters of Bosco, playing on probably his most favorite operator here on defense. Here goes another smoke, and yet another smoke, and a toxic canister as well. Keep in mind with Retro on the board, they do have more than one set of smokes. A great shot from Mark on the Skies as Skies inside a server tries to work his way out. But here comes a big push! Oh, Benji with the double kill! Laxing is there to trade it off, but they're running out of time. He's going to run right into Bosco. He'll pull out the shotgun, and boom goes the dynamite, but Foxay above, 1 second left. Obey, excellent job, and Benji in particular comes in and saves the day for his team. She might not be quick, but slow and steady sometimes wins that race. And indeed, it's Obey being able to take the round, especially off of the play of Benji.
Seriously, props to Benji there for that push, making it work through the smoke. He sets up, and it really worked out in his favor. Now, one thing I have to question is Laxing's decision to push Kitchen with 15 seconds left, diffuser in hand. Benji had been eliminated. Back of white was clearly, well, it was clear. And based on how Laxing was playing that, he was aware of that. So his decision to push instead of attempt to possibly plant, considering he still had teammates to support him, was a little bit confusing to me. There was a theoretical plant scenario there for Cloud9, but it just didn't happen. They were setting themselves up perfectly for it, but it could not work out.
Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning behind pushing in the kitchen there, unless they thought that they had somebody pinned down and that was the call that was made. You know, you're running out of time. You know that there might still be a C4 in play. You don't know. There might still be a toxic canister in play. You might not know if they haven't done the best job of you know, maybe managing the opponent's utility.
There's definitely a lot of unknowns there, and the push in that context makes sense. But at the same time, I'm not. You know, ultimately, if it's all up to the unknowns, then it's a 50-50 split, and there's impossible to really critique. You know, it could be that yeah, there's still a gas canister in play, and if you start planting, you're gonna die. It could be the fact that they're going to allow you to plant because they're still inside a kitchen. The way it was shaping up there, it did look like a plant might have been allowed. But it's all said and done now, and Cloud9 will have to attack onto the top floor next.
And they're just making a beeline for it. Goddess moving on to the Ying. So they're not going to run a single hard breacher here, and I think they realize that with Obey winning downstairs in Garage, they don't necessarily need a hard breacher. This is something that's happened a couple times on Consulate now. You can just kind of duke it out. and not have to worry about blowing anything open. When you look upstairs, your hard breacher's focus is going to likely be used on where exactly? Maybe on the top of yellow stairs, but even then, a lot of times teams will, you know, opt not to open it up. So it's going to definitely be a disrupt and discombobulate style of strategy here for Cloud9, especially with the Capitao, Dokkaebi, and Ying. That can be a very lethal combination. And then, of course, you've got Mark there with the concussions just to lock him down 3 times at least.
Yet again, Cloud9 very slow on clearing the top floor. We saw this from them last time they attempted to do so in the previous round. And now that it is actually a defense of the top floor, slowing down even more. Adam's going to eat some damage on the yellow stairs to a well-placed grenade. It's going to put him down to about 25 HP. Not a great position to be in. Mark will take out my man as well, so the castle gone. It's been some great work here so far from the Zofia. It's looking good for Cloud9. They've managed to establish the angles to do enough damage to Obey, which will soften them up. I don't really have a clear, decided push. It's likely going to be a, well, it's obviously at this point going to be a CEO push. You've got the Capitao in play, which means you can, just move around those ADSs. You've got an extra set of smokes from Retro. If you clear out the ADSs, then you're already starting to use the utility to establish a position to plant inside of that CEO office. The crossfire from the bathroom window or connector window is going to also work out great.
I mean, one of the things that Cloud9 has really invested in here is just opening up lines of sight. And that is going to consistently haunt Obey, especially with how precarious this hold is from Obey. But as I say that, Laxing goes down to Adam, gets traded off by Foxay, so at least they fight for the draw. All these Candelas from Goddess are just going to get dumped right in, and she dives in amidst the smoke and goes for a plant, assuming that there will be coverage on yellow stairs. This could be very dangerous, but a huge C4 from Skies, and Benji as well. This could possibly be a lockout from Cloud9. Retro with that SMG-12 able to wrangle the recoil as Mark gets one, but there's only one body left in Skies. He's going to have to go frag chasing here as Mark does not have time, and Skies wisely reads that and just continues to run away, run. Forest, run. The Pulse will hang on, and that is Obey putting 2 in a row now here on defense.
Putting themselves up 4-3. Like you said, a really good read there from Obey and Skies in particular. The hero of the round with the C4 from below. If it had not been for him, it likely would have been an easy plant for Cloud9. They were setting themselves up so perfectly. We see that yet again. Cloud9 have the right strategy, the right setup. Slow execution, sure, maybe a little bit, but ultimately done within a reasonable amount of time. The only problem is, despite all of the backups they had, the 2 people they had in a position to pick up that diffuser and plant it, and them accounting for the potential of a C4, despite that, there was just always another layer of the defense for Obey. Always somebody else ready to throw themselves at the diffuse plant and deny it outright. And then ultimately just came down to, yeah, the time is finally caught up, and Skies is able to just run away.
I mean, another big part of that was just Cloud9 did not clear the main floor at all. That's how Skies was able to get the C4 from below. That's how it took Mark until the final 10 seconds to finally clear out yellow. C9 basically committed fully to taking bathroom and then trying to pressure into console office. That was really it. And it didn't really do much outside of that. I think they were a pretty big victim of poor clock management. And Obey just needed to wait for them to rappel right in. You're very vulnerable when you manage to get in. You got a pulse beneath you. That's going to be very difficult. And there's a lot of coverage with the range of that cardiac sensor to give all the information to your teammates that you need. And Obey just made the changes that they needed. Having somebody playing in connector, having somebody playing at the top of yellow, and then having Skies just continue to run away after getting probably the most important kill, which was getting that diffuser down.
So, top floor now. Or so it seems. Nope, middle floor, pardon me. It's always hard to tell with Consulate. It's all over the place because if you're defending the bottom floor, you're going to have 2 people on the top floor. If you're defending the middle floor, you're going to have 3 or 2 people on the top floor. If you're defending the top floor, you're going to have 2 or 3 people on the top floor, and then at least 1 or 2 in the middle floor, maybe 1 on the basement. There's never any like accountability for your operator positioning on this map. It's just, hey, are you defending Consulate? Okay, you're defending the whole map. So, setup here from Cloud9 yet again, trying to clear out these roamers on the top floor. They haven't had the best of luck with doing just that.
No, not at all. I mean, Skies did get spotted inside a copier. Mark wasn't quite quick enough on the draw to be able to jump on it. So now instead Mark and Fox A have just been able to take over admin by themselves. They're going to have to try to take as quickly as they can that projector room upstairs where Bosco is playing, and Adam, who has his back exposed to a possible push if Bosco doesn't notice it, as that's Adam playing in connector. But Laxing, once again, picked off early on, this time as the Ash, and then Skies will pick up his second kill as he goes for the run out, and he makes himself vulnerable for just a second, but gets back in through the bottom of yellow stairs unscathed. 2 pretty big kills there onto both Laxing as well as Retro. Those are huge priority targets onto the entry fragging Ash as well as the Dokkaebi. And now a ping will give Man a bit of information, as Adam looks like he's trying to capitalize on it, playing at the long desk as Adam will move into connector, and he has the open window to watch towards balcony, all the while Skies still very much on the roam. He's completely elusive downstairs. This is excellent for Obey to put this on a match point.
Cloud9 just lingering again on the windows. We've seen a lot of this from them. Nice angle play from Adam. He's going to be able to take out Mark before Skies getting yet another kill onto Fox A. Leaving just Goddess on the balcony, and Bosco finishes her off. Obey take the round. We go to match point 5-3. Obey's favor. They have not wavered on this defensive half.
No, I mean, this has been an absolute defensive lockout here, which is interesting to me that with Lion and Blackbeard banned, every hard breacher on the board, Ying still in play, Glaz still in play, shield operators available, that we're not seeing really anything start from Cloud9. Nothing even close. I mean, even on attack, C9 got the 3 defensive rounds. That's been tied by Obey's total, and Obey looks to continue pushing forward. They can go back downstairs as the lobby is, or rather, as they just went to lobby and it'll be locked, but down to garage, there they'll go. And this was a pretty convincing hold from Obey last time around. I wouldn't see that much of a difference in their play. Because of the mirror usage coming out now, I don't know if this has been a direct swap to counter that or not, but after Laxing fell off of Blackbeard a couple seasons ago, he took up arms with Twitch on attack and did quite a good job. Of course, having one of the best weapons on attack in the hands of somebody who lands their shots, and has pretty good game sense in Laxing, well, it's going to go a long way. But on top of that, the drones being crucial to take out any possible yokai drones, which don't matter in this matchup because there's no echo that's available to take out, or to stop at least the evil eye cams, to get any mirror windows, take out ADSs, bandit batteries, mute jammers, etc. So the gadget is going to help Laxing, but more importantly, this could be what he needs, because right now, he hasn't really been able to get the kills that his team requires of him. Right now, it's been almost solely Mark carrying that banner.
And Mark's been putting in some great work for his team, that's for sure. Obey have set themselves up now in the bathroom. Yet again, we've seen this roamer strategy inside a bathroom, and this is a common occurrence. Worked out well for Cloud9, and that was Mark actually pulling it off himself. So we'll see if Obey are able to make it work for them now that they're on the basement once more. The overall strategy for Cloud9 again is going to be clearing the top floor. Now, this time it doesn't look like they have to deal with very many roamers. This time it looks like Obey is going to be mostly on the site. At least on the top floor, not a problem. However, despite not having to deal with any roamers on the top floor, they are also taking this as slow as they have been throughout the rest of the match. Laxing's going to get a mirror window, very important that he did just that. He's also going to try and go for some batteries. Now, this is dangerous, but if he can get 2 batteries, he can guarantee the possibility of opening up that garage. There you go. You got 3. Impressively done for Laxing. Great Twitch drone play in the round, and he's going to be able to call out the lack of bandit tricking right now. As Adam snuggles up next to that garage wall once more, Goddess is going to be slow on the trigger. Wrong trick for Adam, and the garage will open up. Well done to Goddess, and a slight misplay there from Adam will cost Obey some defensive favor.
That's tricky that he wasn't able to get that down pat. You know, I mean, that was pretty clear cut right in the center of the garage. I am quite surprised that he wasn't able to read that correctly. But now with the second panel getting opened up right next to it, instead of being able to do much to stop the panel as well, Adam is going to go for frags himself, and Goddess, after opening up both walls, will be rewarded by a bit of an early death here. Just over a minute left to play with match point in favor of Obey. They really haven't been found for the time being. The drone usage from C9, I think, has been shut down by a lot of these mute jammers. Adam trying to go for just, I guess, a crawl on the floor. Maybe trying to get an angle underneath the white van, but will get spotted by Laxing. And once again, that fire rate of the F2 makes easy work of most foes that end up crossing it. And Adam will be no different. Toxic Babe gets thrown out towards the gaping maw of the garage from Bosco, who now situates himself back inside of that staff cafeteria. Keep in mind, you've also still got Benji playing up at the pillars here with my man inside of the small office. So unless you can get somebody from Cloud9 to wreak havoc from above, this is very well an easy lockout for Obey. And it's going to be Foxay up above. C4 gets tossed out from Benji, but he will miss. Oh no, not great timing. Retro goes down, and Sky's a big double kill from Skies, and amidst the smoke he will defuse as the rest of his team starts to coalesce around him. Dropping will be Foxay, and Bosco will shut him down, and by a score of 6-3, Obey Alliance will walk away with C9's map on Consulate and set us up with Obey's map of Oregon next.
Well, that match was really up in the air until we got to the second half. Once we got to the second half, oh boy, Obey just absolutely locking out Cloud9. I think a big part of that, though, was not necessarily Obey's excellent play, but more to me just Cloud9 being really poor at clearing out those roamers and, in general, establishing any amount of map control. That is something that Cloud9 is going to need to work on moving forward for Consulate, because that's basically the whole map encompassed, you know, is like you need to take the top floor. Once you've taken the top floor, then you can start working on the middle floor. Once you've taken the middle floor, then you get to work on the bottom floor. And that